What is going on, everyone? And welcome back to another About Teams video. You already know what it is. Another tier list for our MLB segment. And today we got a fun one. We're going to be ranking every World Series since 2010. Nick, this is going to be fun. But here's the challenge we have. There's only going to be one team in S tier allowed. I think that's fair because that's the best.
I agree.
Do you want to start up? Should we just start off in 2010, work our way up?
Yep. Yeah. Let's start 2010. Rangers Giants. Not really a competitive series.
It wasn't like that competitive. Giants were just straight up the better team. I would say this one is like a C, D. It wasn't the worst, but I would go C. On the other hand, though, the next year the Rangers back. This might be high A or S for me. The Rangers Cardinals series was a classic. The Rangers were 1 out away.
That was a classic.
Game 6, they were 1 out away. Nelson Cruz, just the Cardinals too. It was an unreal series.
I don't know if I can put it in S though.
I'd go high A for now. I'd say high A.
It has like one of the most classic baseball moments of time.
Yeah.
Like freeze.
Next World Series I never wish happened. I think this was the sweep, the Tigers Giants. This was not a good series at all.
Which is weird because the Tigers team was really good. They had Steve Scherzer and Verlander. I think Verlander won.
Miguel Cabrera, Prince Fielder, I think.
Yeah.
Really just a no-show World Series, though. I mean, whenever it's a sweep, even if it's competitive games, it's still disappointing. And some of these games just weren't really all that. So I'd go F. I mean, this was probably the worst of them all that we'll be talking about.
F.
Is that fair? I mean, we can always keep looking.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Red Sox next. This series I thought was kind of really good. Underrated. That we have that crazy ending, and I believe it was Game 3, like tripping over the baseman thing where the Cardinals walked off. Cardinals went up 2-1 this series, but then the Red Sox are out off 3 straight. My favorite player at this time was Koji Uehara with that nice glove. He was unreal. It felt like he always closed every game out. I'd say this World Series is high B, low A. It was really good, but
I'll put it high
B because it doesn't feel like it belongs in the same tier as Rangers Cardinals, but we'll see.
This World Series did have a lot of like crazy moments though, and obviously it was the Boston bombing year. So
yeah, that too. So
it did have a lot of crazy
Boston.
moments.
It was great for them to win it. Next one, 2014 Giants Royals. This series was just a battle of 2 Titans. The Giants doing their thing where they win even years.
Yeah.
This was 7 games, really high. Mad Bum comes in Game 7 after, I believe it was like an Alec Gordon triple, 1 run away from tying it. But the Giants pulled it off. This is either high. I mean, I don't know. 7 games, really competitive. I'd go like A.
I'm going to say A just because, anytime it goes 7 games, it's going to be a good series.
Yeah.
And it cemented the Giants as like the team of the 2010s.
Yeah, literally. And then that was just great. Mad Bum coming in to close it. Next one, even though this series only went 5 games, the amount of choking from the New York Mets and the amount of clutchness from the Royals. This series, it went 5 games. Really could have gone Mets in 5, could have gone 7. This series, for me, even though it was only 4-1, at least deserves a B. It was a really good series. Like, even though it quickly lasted 5 games, every game came down to the 9th inning, home run, late, just Kansas City's clutch hitting prevailed in this series.
Yep. I mean, poor Mets fans. This is probably the last time in a while they're going to see their team in the World Series, and it was a young team for both teams. Like the Royals were a young team just coming up.
Royals coming off that World Series loss, though, people probably thought them, but the Mets dominated like 70% of the World Series. Like they were up most of the time, but Kansas City's clutch hitting just was so much. And I forget who that closer was for the Mets that was really good that year and just fumbled every time when he came in.
Yeah.
Jeurys Familia, yep. Just it was coming to my mind. It stinks. It really does. But for Mets fans, that one stung. That series could have gone Mets in 5 easily. But, disappointing. But the Royals. That was an interesting one to say the least.
This one might be S for me. This next one, I've got two in mind, and this is
This
one
is
of
the Cubs Indians.
Yep.
Probably
this is probably the best Game 7 I've ever seen.
Yeah, that and the whole series, the Cubs going up, or Indians going up 3-1. Cubs coming back, Jake Arrieta, David Ross, Game 7. What's his name? R.J. Davis for the Indians, Game 7. Going extras, a little bit of rain delay. Yeah, probably Game 7 or S. I think this one might be the best. I was thinking either this or the Texas Cardinals one, but
okay, yeah.
We'll leave there for now. Next one, 2017. Now, which one was this? Oh, this was Astros Dodgers.
This was my other one.
Honestly, I kind of just. Astros obviously 1-7 was a great series. We had like that 14-12 game. Was unreal stuff when it came down to an all-decisive Game 7 where the Astros won like 5-1. I would say just because of the ending, how it was like kind of just a domination game from Houston, it would go high A.
Yeah. This one was like on the verge of S for me. It was this one.
Yeah, that one was great too. Dodgers, I think they went up 3-2, or it was 3-2 Astros, and then Dodgers tied it. Everyone thought Dodgers Game 7 at home were going to win it. Then the Astros won it. I think that was like Cody Bellinger's year. Just unreal.
Yeah, I believe so. MVP.
Next one, 2018. For me, this one was a C. The Red Sox were just straight up the better team. We had that infamous. I remember the only highlight was like the game that went like 18 innings or something.
That was the only game they lost.
Yeah, and that was the one game they lost. But the rest of the series is pretty much dominant. For a Red Sox fan like you, it was probably like, whatever it is, S because you won it. But just like from a fan, like the Red Sox kind of dominated the series, a majority of it.
Yeah, I'd probably agree. The first few games at Fenway were close, and then that 18-inning game, but the series was closer than people think, just because you look back at the box score and some of them are just kind of like Red Sox dominated. But like for, I believe, Game 4, the day after, they were down like 4-1, ended up tying it, and then scored like 6 runs in the 9th inning. And then the next day, the
games itself, it's just tough. I just don't think it was as good as the 5-game series we have above in the Mets. Royals, I thought that was just highlight classics back and forth. Every game was a movie. This one, some of the games were really good, but it just the way it closed out, just it was like a Red Sox domination. Steve Pearce, I don't know. For me, C tier. You could argue low B, but it wasn't.
It probably wasn't like the best.
Yeah, for you, it's S tier because your team wins.
Right.
But for me, it was like, or at the time, I didn't really care, and it was just like Red Sox won 4-1, dominated a good amount of it. So. Yeah. Next one, 2019. This series was pretty underrated.
This might be
Nationals, the surprise winner. Yeah, I'd say A. Nationals, the surprise winner. Went up 2-0. Houston wins 3 in a row, heading back to Houston. But the Nationals pulling it off. Steven Strasburg, Juan Soto, super young. I believe Max Scherzer on this team.
Yep. It was his first ring.
Their pitching was really good. A lot of people had their question marks about the bullpen going in, but they upsetted the Dodgers with Cody Bellinger's MVP year. An underrated champion, man. That Nationals team was really good.
This is a team that also they were bad going into the All-Star break. They were like 10 games below 500. People were thinking they were going to sell at the deadline, and they just flipped a switch, got in as a wild card team. Had like a crazy wild card win off the Brewers.
Yeah, no. Oh yeah, the Brewers beating Josh Hader, and
this was the first time ever that no home team won a game in a series, and it was a 7-game series. Nationals won 2 in Houston. Houston wins 3 in Washington, and then Nationals go back and win 2 in Houston. It was insane. You never see that, and we saw it last year again, I believe, in the ALCS. So it's just wild. Yeah. It was such an underrated series.
It was. Yeah, it did happen in the ALCS last year. Every road team won. Next one, 2020. This is a B. It was a pretty good series, Dodgers and Rays. I
I hate counting COVID. I want to say D.
That's just more being, but the actual games itself, we had a couple crazy games. The Randy
You're right.
breakout, the questionable Blake Snell getting pulled in Game 6. It was it was the two best teams that year. Yeah, even though it was a weird, funky COVID, the games overall were really good. Yeah, very good series. Or solid series, yeah. It was still kind of whack. No one felt like it was an actual World Series. Everyone was just like, oh, Dodgers champs. Okay. Next one, 2021. This is the Atlanta Braves. Eddie Rosario playoff run that cemented himself. Freddie Freeman. I believe this did it go 6 or 7? I think 6.
6. Yep, but it was a good series.
It was a good series. I go solid B. I thought it was a really good series, but
the most memorable moment was Soler's 580-foot home run, it seemed, where he hit it 40 feet out of the stadium. Pretty much put the Astros away right then and there, silenced the stadium. Really cool.
Yeah, it was a really good series, and it thought at this point, Astros have hit this brick wall of losing a couple World Series in a row, until the next year where they beat the Philadelphia Phillies in a really, I would say, another B World Series. It was a solid 6-game. Phillies went up 2-1, but the Astros just showed their playoff experience down the stretch and just kind of pulled away. For Phillies, it was a great run, though. It was a wild card team, I believe. So
I know a ton of people were pulling for the Phillies. I didn't really care who won because I believe that was the year before. But yeah, I didn't really care who won because I'm a hater of both teams.
Yeah.
See the Phillies win it just because the run they were making, they were a wild card team, and then all of a sudden
the Braves.
Up, this really catapulted the Phillies into what they've become today, which is a top
one of the best teams of baseball. Can't complain with that one. And then the last one, Rangers Diamondbacks. There wasn't a lot of hype about it just because two smaller market teams, and the Rangers, to be fair, were just straight up better. They won in 5. The Diamondbacks were on a bit of a Cinderella run, but overall, this series just didn't draw much attention. I was thinking C just to give it the respect, but we could go D. I mean, I don't know.
I feel like we gotta put something in D.
All right, yeah, it's only fair. It was credit to Texas though; they just made it really uncompetitive. Diamondbacks got 1 game, but. Yeah, I mean, Rangers just 1 in 5.
It didn't seem competitive.
Yeah, it really wasn't
super competitive.
But yeah, let us know what you agree and disagree with in the comments, because there was, looking at this, there was a really lot of great World Series. Even the C tiers were solid. But yeah, let us know what you agree, disagree with. Are we hating too much on some, loving too much on some others? Do we have the best World Series ranked right? Let us know everything in the comments. Poor Tigers, Giants, the only F-tier team, but that was the only sweep we've had. So the World Series has been really competitive. But yeah, let us know what you agree, disagree with in the comments. And make sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this kind of content. And we'll catch you next one. Peace.